Hi, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what is chemical engineering to hopefully help towards the college knowledge badge. My name is Deanna. I'm a senior chemical engineering student at Worcester Polytechnic Institute in Massachusetts. On campus, I'm a diver on the varsity swimming and diving team. I'm also an Alpha Phi Omega, which is the co-ed service fraternity that's helping bring all of these videos to you. I'm involved in Omicron Delta Kappa, which is the Leadership Honor Society, as well as ISPE, which is the International Society of Pharmaceutical Engineers. I also, prior to this, was a Girl Scout for 12 years and earned my Gold Award. Here's a picture of me diving, and these two pictures are from my Gold Award, where I built that bridge that I'm standing on and the sand and water table as part of a preschool playground at my elementary school. So first, to dive into it, what is chemical engineering? By the dictionary, chemical engineering is the science or profession of applying chemistry to industrial processes. And it's also the branch of engineering concerned with the design and operation of chemical plants. But I really truly believe that chemical engineers are so much more. Right now, as a statistic, 17.9% of chemical engineers are women, but I personally feel like I'm seeing that number increase every single day. Why did I choose chemical engineering? In high school, I was really interested in chemistry and math, and I took AP chemistry, and I just really liked solving chemistry problems because they always felt like a puzzle to me. I really like solving puzzles, and whether that's word puzzles or math puzzles, just like putting all of the pieces together. I like performing lab experience. I did some in AP chemistry, and then my freshman year chemistry classes really showed me that that was something that I liked. I also chose it because I knew I could take a wide variety of classes and be involved in a wide variety of projects. I also wanted to choose something that could give me a meaningful career after college and help make the world a better place for others. And chemical engineering just provides a really broad career path. You can do almost any sort of industry. You can go into almost any sort of industry with a chemical engineering degree. This is a picture of one of my experiments that I ran this year. Inside each of those bottles is a chemical reaction, and it's graphed on the computer screen, and then we analyze the data to see what's happening with the chemical reactions. And it's really exciting, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it's really, really fun to do. So where do chemical engineers work? First, I'm going to talk about the one that I'm most passionate about, which is working in biotech or biopharma. When I chose chemical engineering, I really had my eyes on this industry because I really feel like after college, will be able to help make the world a better place for people by helping deliver life-changing therapies to patients, especially with things like the COVID-19 vaccine that have just come out. It's a really exciting time to be involved in this field, and I feel really good about bringing new medicines to patients who really need it. Maybe the most common industry is simply chemical manufacturing, so companies like Dow and DuPont that produce mass chemicals to then go to all sorts of other industries that need them. There's also energy. A lot of chemical engineers work in energy, whether that's developing batteries or solar panels or wind turbines, because all of these have a chemical reaction behind them to produce this energy. There's also plenty of chemical engineers involved in clean energy, like carbon capture and developing cleaner energy sources. And also one for chemical engineers is oil, so working for a company like ExxonMobil to distill and refine oil to give to everyone for our cars and heating and things like that. There's so many other industries that chemical engineers can work for. Another big one is food and beverage. I know a lot of engineers from my school who have gone on to work at PepsiCo, and also aerospace. There are a good amount of chemical engineers that can go into aerospace industries as well. But you're probably wondering what it takes to become a chemical engineer. As a chemical engineer, you'll have to take a wide variety of college classes. These are kind of the most common ones that any chemical engineer at any school would take. That's like chemical processes, learning about chemical processes and reactors and what goes in, what must come out, things like that. Thermodynamics, and then transport phenomena. So how how solutes or how solutions change in a reactor and how the solutions move through a reactor system, reactor design, how to pick what size your chemical reactor is, and the inlets and the outlets and things like that. And then unit operations, which is the big lab course that most chemical engineers take that kind of take all of the previous things and allow you to put them into practice by doing lab experiments. To be a really good chemical engineer, you'll need to be able to communicate well with others. A lot of these things will involve team projects, and as a chemical engineer, you're definitely going to be working in project groups in industry. Being organized is always key. It's really helped me, but I think that's also something that can be learned. And then you'll need to develop technical writing skills, which you can do in college, and there are plenty of college like English classes that will help you really get started with that. And then also be thinking critically about the problems you're solving and finding creative solutions to some of these things. Here are some pictures of the unit operations lab. The one on the top is me. I took this lab during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's why I'm wearing a mask. And below is students from a past year. This is the actual lab that we're in. See, it's a lot of big pipes and tubes, and there are some reactors, although they're not in that photo. And it just kind of allows you to really practice things that you might do after college in this kind of lab. Next, I'll talk a little bit about how I chose WPI and what I kind of looked for when I was looking at colleges. I chose WPI for a multitude of reasons, but on paper, I really chose it because I could participate in varsity athletics, I could study engineering, and I could study abroad, and this was really the only school on my list that would really allow me to do all three. WPI has a special program called the IQP where you can go abroad for half of a semester, and they've really incorporated it into the curriculum where anyone studying any major can utilize this program versus a lot of other schools. Engineers can't really study abroad because the curriculum is too strict and you would miss required classes if you chose to go abroad. WPI was also very financially feasible for me, and my test scores fit in really well with the standards of the school, which kind of made me feel better that I was kind of in the middle of all of the students that were there. But also when I came to WPI for a visit, I immediately noticed the community. I really liked that almost everyone at the school was an engineer or a STEM major. And the school is really focused on project-based learning and doing a lot of group projects and learning to work with other people as well as solve big problems. And because of the project work, a lot of the students support each other. It doesn't feel competitive. It doesn't feel like I'm competing for grades with anyone else. And this is a picture of our mascot and our quad area, part of it anyway, and just pretty sunset on campus. But one thing I want to wrap up with is that if you can dream it, you can do it. If you're thinking about a career pursuing chemical engineering or STEM, and you have the passion for it, you can definitely do it, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Thank you. I hope you learned a lot from this video towards your college knowledge badge.